Cancer is one of the most feared words in modern life. It's a stark reminder of how our bodies can go off-script, how cells meant to protect us turn dangerous, and how everything we do, what we eat, when we rest, how we live, ultimately matters. On Health Improvisor, we believe in arming you with tools science actually backs, not fear or hype. Today, we're going into one of the most promising frontiers: how intermittent fasting offers a real mechanism for reducing cancer risk, how it helps your body target damaged cells, and how men and women alike can use its power wisely and safely to age stronger and healthier. To understand how fasting links to cancer, you first need to understand the enemy. Cancer begins when cells, for one reason or another, escape the body's checks and balances. They proliferate when they should pause, they hijack blood vessels, avoid cell death, and spread. One of the key enablers of that runaway growth is metabolic weaknesses, high insulin levels, elevated growth factors, chronic inflammation, and oxidative stress. These are exactly where lifestyle hits hardest. Intermittent fasting changes many of these variables simultaneously, a fact emerging from recent peer-reviewed research. For example, a narrative review found that intermittent fasting can improve cancer risk variables: lowered glucose, insulin, leptin, and higher adiponectin levels, all linked to cancer etiology. Fasting and time-restricted eating are not magic bullets, but when used correctly, they tilt the internal environment away from disease and toward resilience. What happens when you fast? When you stop eating for a period, say 16, 18, or 24 hours, the body begins to shift from glucose-based metabolism toward fat oxidation and ketone production. Your insulin levels drop. Growth factor hormones such as IGF-1 fall. One major review described that fasting reduces IGF-1, lowers inflammation, activates autophagy, the body's cellular recycling system, and thereby diminishes conditions favorable to cancer growth. Autophagy is critical. Damaged cells, misfolded proteins, broken organelles, they all accumulate as we age. Fasting gives the body time and signals to clean this up. This matters because cancer cells often thrive in environments where cell repair is suppressed. There is also emerging research on how fasting affects the immune system's ability to detect and remove aberrant cells. A study from Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center showed that fasting in mice improved the activity of natural killer cells, making them more effective in the harsh, nutrient-poor environment around tumors. While these are early findings and not yet human definitive, they do open a window into how metabolic stress imposed by fasting can help your body fight lesions before they grow. Let's walk through how this works from a male health perspective, though much of it applies universally. Men often face risks related to high insulin, visceral, fat, low testosterone, poor sleep, and chronic inflammation. Many of these are directly tied to eating patterns. When you fast, you reduce insulin spikes, you reduce fat deposition around your organs. You improve hormone balance indirectly. Lower insulin and IGF-1 means your body signals less for growth and proliferation, and growth is one of the hallmarks of cancer. So by fasting, you're indirectly protecting your body from aggressive cell growth and creating an internal environment where healthy cells outcompete rogue ones. One of the key mechanisms involves nutrient deprivation of cancer cells. Cancer cells rely heavily on glucose and glutamine for rapid division. During fasting, glucose levels drop and the body switches to fat and ketones for fuel, creating a less hospitable environment for these malignant cells. Some preclinical research has dubbed this starvation of cancer by limiting its fuel supply. This doesn't replace treatment, but it adds another layer of defense for healthy cells and places stress on cancer-prone cells. But before you jump into long fasts, it's vital to understand the limitations and precautions. Human studies are still in early phases. Many are small, short-term, and often involve cancer patients undergoing other treatments. A recent review concluded that intermittent fasting as an adjunct to chemotherapy showed potential, but more large-scale trials are needed. Also, fasting during active cancer treatment must be supervised by oncologists and dietitians because malnutrition, weight loss, and treatment side effects matter. On top of that, men and women with metabolic issues, older age, or who are underweight should approach fasting with caution. So, what does a smart, evidence-inspired fasting strategy look like for someone who's healthy but wants to lower cancer risk and age stronger? Here's a blueprint you can adapt after checking with your doctor. Choose a 16 to 8 time-restricted eating window, 16 hours, fasting, 8 hours eating. For daily practice, on 1 or 2 days each week, consider extending to 20 or 24 hours, but carefully. Prioritize nutrient-dense food during your eating windows. Make sure you're sleeping 7-9 hours, managing stress and staying active. The fasting isn't doing all the work. Your other habits support the shift. Now, because men's hormone balance matters, fasting contributes indirectly. It has been shown to improve testosterone levels via improved insulin sensitivity and reduced body fat. While research specific to male hormone levels in fasting is still growing, the logic is clear. Less insulin resistance, less visceral fat, less inflammation all support hormonal health. As hormonal health improves, your body has more resilience against aging processes and likely less vulnerability to hormone-related cancers like prostate cancer. Another benefit: fasting reduces inflammation and oxidative stress, two major drivers of not just cancer, but aging itself. Chronic inflammation plays a role in tumor initiation, growth, and metastasis. Fasting lowers levels of inflammatory cytokines and oxidative biomarkers. That means less wear and tear on your cells. A cleaner internal environment, where your immune system works better, your cells repair better, your blood vessels stay healthier, and your hormone signaling stays balanced. Let's also talk about body composition and metabolic health. Fasting helps preserve lean muscle mass when done properly, reduces fat mass, improves mitochondrial efficiency, and regulates blood sugar. Studies show these metabolic shifts are linked with longer lifespan and lower cancer incidence in epidemiological data. Although causation is not yet fully proven, the connections are strong enough to act on. What that means for you: when you combine resistance training, protein-rich nutrition, and strategic fasting, you're building a body less hospitable to disease and more resilient to aging. There are practical, real-world mechanisms worth understanding. For example, when you fast, the drop in insulin signals your body to activate AMPK, a cellular energy sensor that promotes autophagy and mitochondrial renewal. At the same time, mTOR signaling, which promotes growth, decreases. Many cancer therapies aim to reduce mTOR and block IGF-1. Fasting does something similar naturally. This interplay shows why researchers are exploring fasting as a complementary therapy in oncology. For men, this becomes a way of aligning nutrition and fasting with health span, not just lifespan. Let's imagine a man in his 40s, working long hours, stressed, with poor sleep, and a diet heavy in sugar and refined carbs. He's got a growing belly, low energy, maybe a creeping hairline, and he's worried about getting cancer later. If he starts implementing a 16 to 8 fasting window, begins walking or training in the morning fasted, keeps his meals nutrient-dense, focuses on sleep and stress reduction, he's changing his internal biochemistry. After a few months, you might notice his waistline shrinking, his labs improving, lower insulin, lower CRP, better cholesterol. He's sleeping better, feeling sharper, and unknowingly, his cancer risk profile is shifting for the better. On the flip side, it's worth noting what we don't know. Large randomized controlled trials are still rare in humans. We don't yet have definitive guidelines that say, X hours fasting will reduce cancer risk by Y%. Many studies show correlation, not causation. We also know that excessive fasting or nutrient deprivation can cause muscle loss, hormonal imbalances, immune suppression. For men who are underweight, have eating disorders, are athletes with high demands, or are in active cancer treatment, fasting without supervision is not advisable. The key is strategy and balance. Another area gaining traction in 2025 is the fasting mimicking diet, FMD. This is a 5-day diet that significantly reduces calories and mimics fasting while allowing minimal food intake. Early trials show this approach may support chemotherapy, reduce IGF-1 and glucose spikes, and make tumor cells more vulnerable. For men who struggle with full fasting windows, FMD may offer a practical alternative. But again, this is not a DIY approach for someone in active treatment without supervision. As part of a broader anti-aging strategy, fasting complements sleep, movement, nutrition, and stress management. When your diet is the same as always, but your timing changes, your body starts triggering renewal cycles. Mitochondria rebuild. Immune surveillance improves. Hormones reset. Autophagy kicks in. Essentially, you're giving your body the chance to do the maintenance work it rarely gets in modern life. Before wrapping this up, let's talk about mindset, because you're watching Health Improvisor, which means you're ready to upgrade your health intentionally. Fasting isn't about punishing yourself. It's about giving yourself time. Time for your body to switch from survival mode back into repair mode. Time to clean up, reset, rebuild. It's about control. It's about saying, I will age on my terms. When you build that mindset, you will follow through. In practical terms, begin by choosing a consistent window. Suppose you stop eating by 7 p.m. and don't start until 11 a.m. the next day. There you have a 16-hour fast. Drink water, black coffee, or tea in the fasting window. No sugar, no simple carbs. When your eating window opens, focus on clean whole foods, vegetables, lean protein, healthy fats. Avoid processed junk, which undermines all the benefits you're building. Keep exercise consistent resistance. Interval training, walking. Keep sleep strong. Manage stress with breathing techniques, cold exposure, sauna, all things that amplify the renewal process. Imagine 6 months ahead. You've lost some weight. Your labs have improved. Your energy is up. Your waist is smaller. You sleep deeper. Your skin looks clearer. You feel younger. But more importantly, you've lowered your risk profile. You've aligned your daily habits with long-term resilience. You've leaned into science, not fear. At Health Improvisor, our goal is to give you knowledge that matters and tools you can use. Fasting is not a silver bullet, nothing is. But what it is one of the most powerful, natural, evidence-backed tools for targeting damaged cells, reducing cancer risk, improving hormone balance, and slowing the aging process. And the biggest secret? You already own it. The clock may tick, but you get to lean in. If this video resonated, hit subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and leave a comment. What fasting window will you start with? Because consistency wins. Your future self is already thanking you. You are watching Health Improvisor. Take control. Stay younger, live stronger.